Tonight, the Middle East is closer to a major regional war than ever before. Secret meetings, missile threats, military drills, attacks in the Strait of Hormuz, and growing fears that the conflict between Iran, Israel, and the United States could spiral out of control. But behind the headlines, something even bigger is happening. In this video, we'll break down the latest war updates, the hidden political moves, and why the entire world is watching the Middle East very carefully right now. The Middle East woke up to another wave of tension today as new developments emerged involving Iran, Israel, the United States, and several regional powers. One of the biggest stories came from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who claimed he secretly visited the United Arab Emirates during the recent conflict involving Iran. According to reports, Netanyahu allegedly met UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed in the city of Al Ain near the Oman border. Israeli sources described the meeting as historic. But there's one problem. The UAE strongly denied that the relationship between Israel and the Emirates is based on secret meetings or hidden arrangements. This public denial has created even more questions. Why would Netanyahu reveal the visit now? Was the meeting connected to military cooperation against Iran? And could Gulf countries be quietly preparing for a larger regional conflict? These questions remain unanswered. But one thing is clear. Diplomatic tensions behind closed doors are becoming just as important as the fighting happening on the battlefield. At the same time, the Israeli military issued urgent evacuation orders for several towns and villages. In southern Lebanon and the Bekaa Valley, residents were warned to leave immediately or face danger to their lives. This came shortly after Hezbollah announced multiple attacks against Israeli military positions. According to Lebanese reports, Hezbollah fighters targeted Israeli soldiers, military vehicles, and even a Merkava tank near the border. Meanwhile, Israeli airstrikes hit several Lebanese towns overnight. Homes were damaged, civilians were injured, and smoke once again filled the skies over southern Lebanon. For many people living there, the fear is growing every single day. Families are packing their belongings, unsure if they will ever return home. Children are waking up to the sounds of explosions instead of school bells. And the ceasefire that was supposed to reduce violence now appears weaker than ever. Many analysts fear Lebanon could soon become the next major front in this conflict. Iran also made its position very clear during the BRICS foreign ministers meeting in India. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi urged BRICS nations to condemn both the United States and Israel for military actions in the region. He said the global South must challenge what he called Western dominance and pressure. This statement matters because BRICS is becoming more influential globally. Countries like China, Russia, India, Brazil, and Iran are trying to build stronger political and economic alliances outside Western influence. And during this meeting, concerns about the Strait of Hormuz became a major topic. Why is this important? Because the Strait of Hormuz is one of the world's most critical oil routes. A huge percentage of global oil shipments pass through this narrow waterway every single day. If conflict shuts it down, fuel prices around the world could explode overnight, and there are already signs of danger. South Korea is now investigating an attack on one of its cargo ships in the Strait of Hormuz. While investigations are ongoing, officials reportedly believe Iran may have been involved. At the same time, oil tankers connected to Japan and China are carefully trying to move through the region despite growing security risks. This shows how the Iran-US conflict is no longer just a regional issue. It now affects global trade, energy markets, and the world economy. In Washington, US officials continue defending their policies. Eyes toward Iran, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio claimed Iran was building massive missile and drone capabilities to protect what he suggested could eventually become a nuclear weapons program. Iran has repeatedly denied trying to build nuclear weapons. But the United States argues Iran's growing missile arsenal creates a serious threat across the region. Meanwhile, political divisions are also appearing inside America itself. A group of Republican senators recently joined Democrats in an effort to limit President Trump's ability to launch military action against Iran without congressional approval. Although the proposal failed, it revealed growing concern inside Washington about how dangerous this conflict could become. Many Americans fear another long war in the Middle East, and after years of conflict in Iraq and Afghanistan, public support for another major military intervention remains deeply divided. While political leaders exchange warnings and accusations, ordinary people across the Middle East continue paying the highest price. In Gaza, the humanitarian crisis remains severe. Even after ceasefire discussions, many areas remain devastated from years of war. But despite the destruction, people are still trying to rebuild their lives. One powerful story comes from a young Palestinian programmer named Soja Al-Ghul. Inside a co-working space in Gaza, she is developing a mobile app called Wasalani, which means help me reach my destination. The app is designed to help Palestinians share rides and reduce transportation costs during the crisis. It also includes a digital wallet system to deal with the growing cash shortages caused by war. Stories like this show another side of conflict that is often ignored. Even during war, people still try to innovate, people still dream, and people still fight for a better future. Right now, the biggest fear among global leaders is escalation. Israel is increasing military activity in Lebanon and the occupied West Bank. Iran continues strengthening ties with BRICS nations. The US is increasing pressure on Tehran, and regional militias remain active across multiple countries. At the same time, military exercises are expanding. Israel announced large-scale drills in the occupied West Bank. Air defense systems are on high alert, and warning sirens continue sounding across parts of Israel. RY side says it wants security, but every new strike, every drone attack, and every military movement pushes the region closer to a dangerous tipping point. The situation is now extremely fragile. One major mistake, one failed negotiation, or one unexpected attack could change everything overnight.